Hey everyone, and welcome to this month's conversation of the Bold Women's Table. Today we're talking about something that affects all of us, fear versus freedom. If this is your first time, please go back and check out the playlist that will all link in the description so that you can go back and check out the other two. And for those of you that are joining us again, thank you so much. We all have fears, some we name, some we don't, and sometimes they quietly shape our decisions. In this discussion, we're going to get real about what fear looks like in our lives, the impact it has, and how we can choose freedom anyway. Each of us will share our personal experiences because hearing real stories is the fastest way to recognize fear in our own lives. So grab your coffee, your tea, or your water, settle in, and join us as we get honest about fear and freedom. And I am joined today by my friends and colleagues, Kimberly and Jase, and they're going to introduce themselves as well. So I'm going to start with Jase.
Hey guys, I'm Jazz. I'm a 50 plus years old solo traveler. And my goodness, on my channel, I'm talking about traveling and living boldly. And yes, I'm actually creating a group of traveler. Please, I want to do girls travel. So join me so we can travel together and see the world. That's me.
Okay, Kimberly.
Hi everybody, I'm Kimberly. I'm gonna make it short and sweet. My channel is my name, and I talk about everything I've been through toxic relationships, toxic jobs, all down to the things I've manifested and are trying to manifest, and just having real conversations about life and what's going on up here. That's my channel.
And I'm Vicki, and my channel is Aging on Your Terms. And on my channel, I share my family's happy, sad, chaotic life to help people understand that it is very important to plan for as we get older instead of just sitting here thinking nothing will ever happen to us and then have to deal with the chaos when it actually hits us. So I want to thank Jazz for bringing us all together in with this roundtable of the Bold Women's Table. And as you can see, our motto is live boldly, age wisely, manifest intentionally. And today we're going to get right into it. Each one of us is going to ask a question, and I'm going to kick it off. So, my question to you ladies, what is something you wanted to try, but fear talked you out of it?
Hmm.
And you can argue over who goes first.
What's
Kim
something?
can go, that's fine.
Wow. Thank you, Jazz.
That's okay.
What
Coffee.
is something I wanted to try, but fear basically stopped me?
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, eventually I got out of this situation, but many years ago, when I was in my past horrible relationship, I wanted to get out of it. I wanted to get out so bad. I had a situation where um I was like up for like a promotion, and this person basically told me, don't bring back this thing about this promotion ever again to me, and because in that moment I felt like I was being held back. And if you know me, I like to know that I'm moving forward in life. So I felt like really suffocated, really imprisoned at that moment. I was in my car, I had just dropped school my daughter, and I just cried. Like I literally broke down in that cry, and I just say, just get me out of this relationship. I just, because I didn't know a way out, because I didn't have, back then I didn't have a support system. I didn't have anybody
Mm-hmm.
that I knew that I could like go by. I knew that he had, those narcissistic behaviors, how they are. They have everybody liking them. So
Mm-hmm.
they are always the victim and you are always the villain. And so I didn't have anybody in my corner. And I didn't know how I could manage on my own, because my current job, wasn't paying me enough to be able to rent on my own. So I was really like so terrified of getting away from that, because I didn't know how life would look for
Mm-hmm.
me. And it took a while. It took me like 2 years after. to really get out of that. But yeah, that was a really fearful time for me. Like I was like, oh, I want to, you want something so bad, and people would say, but just leave. But not everybody has that support system to just leave, and it is so hard, especially when you're in a controlling, abusive, whatever type of, those toxic type of relationships. And the fear that women or men, because men go through it too, have, the person that's going through it, it's something I would never wish on my worst enemy. That's the honest truth. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kim.
Sorry, I just made like a whole.
No, it's difficult for a lot of women to start
Yeah.
over, because we are used to, even if it's a place where we're not safe, usually habit we have, mainly when you are in this type of relationship, you believe that you don't deserve better, or
Yeah.
um
Or
accept.
you also, they have you believing
Yeah,
that. So like
exactly.
my ex had me believing like, like nobody is ever going to
Would
love you
want
like
you.
me.
Exactly. Yeah. So it comes from
Like, so
that, so you get stuck.
and you don't even know that what they're giving you is not even love.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
I have something in mind that I cannot share here because it's very personal, but I'm still saying that because the decision you took is very brave. A lot of women stay in very bad relationships for the fear of leaving, the fear of the unknown, the fear of starting over, right? But what I can say here is, because my channel is about traveling, right? Um, Before, okay, what is something you wanted? That's what you said, right? Or wanted to try, but fear talked you out of it. Okay. I always wanted to uh, go in Russia. Don't ask me why. I've always been very interested by traveling to Russia, but I was always fearful of traveling there. There's places that, as a black woman, you fear, not just because of the war happening right now with Russia and Ukraine. Before that, it's
Yeah.
just, there's some places in the world as a traveler that it's difficult. Like before we came on, Kim, you were talking about Australia and all the bugs that are in Australia, right? For me, there's places in the world where I always kept myself from going to some places, and Russia is one of them. But lately, I find like I mean, with my travel company, there's a travel package for that falls into my birthday that I want to try and go there. My family say, "Are you crazy? There's war, there's things happening there." But where I'm gonna go is safe, and you're going in the group and it's organized. It's only 4 days. The fifth day you're leaving. And I want to push the fear and go there. Because what I've realized is that it doesn't matter where you go. Because I remember before going to Romania, one day I woke up, guys, I just booked something out of the blue, and I went to Romania with a fear. But my idea about Romania was the same as Russia. I fear the place and all. I had the best experience ever. The people were very nice, friendly. You have the odd people looking at you black, but that's everywhere
Yeah.
you go in the world. I had
Yeah.
the best experience, but I pushed through the fear. I want to do that for Russia. So call me crazy. But I don't know if
Like I said, there's safety in numbers.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I would not go by myself, but I've pushed that so long. I have a friend that is Russian, and she was supposed to take us. She never did. I know if I wait for her, I will never go to Russia. You know,
Yeah.
so through that group, because you're going as a group, it's organized, everything is organized. You don't do anything by yourself, because I would not backpack solo in Russia for some reason.
Yeah.
Forgive me for the Russian looking. It's not, you have a beautiful
But
country, but
you You know what I also realized too, Jazz? A lot of media, see social media and TV and movies, they put
Dramatic.
a stamp on
Mm,
certain places, and
yeah,
then that traumatize us from going.
Yeah.
You know,
like for Africa.
look at
Yeah,
me trying to
Mhm.
motivate you to get excited about going to
I
Africa.
know, right? Yeah, but I want to dare. I want to dare,
Yeah,
and I hope I can travel with that group this summer for my birthday.
I hope so too, because I
And
want to hear all about it.
it's yeah, Russia. I don't know. I always been fascinating, but always been scared to go by myself.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because I travel solo. So this time around with a group, can do it.
Yeah, for me, and it was a career thing. I had a friend who was going to start a startup company, and I let fear stop me from doing it because I had seniority at my last company. I had,
Mhm.
benefits. I even though my life was crazy, it was predictable crazy, and I didn't know what I was going to be getting into, and so I let fear talk me out of it. Now, true, the startup didn't turn out to be, Amazon or, Facebook or anything like that. But I let fear stop me from doing something that I really, really wanted to do. And while I may not have made a lot of money, I probably would have been a lot happier doing something around my purpose than,
Mm.
staying in corporate America. So we can't let fear, kind of hold us back.
I would say to that, Vicky, you never know that maybe it might have gone further if you had joined.
That too.
No,
Yeah,
I say that in getting to know you over the last year and some, you are the idea person. You come up and you give each of us ideas for our channels. And because
Need
of
to do the same
you,
for myself.
we pu- we kind of push ourselves to get organized because you were the first person that started all this scheduling and stuff like that. You are so organized and creative. Like somebody could say that I have a channel talking about back in the yard, back in the day, and you will find some idea to
so
give that
true.
person. Yeah. So
Exactly. And
yeah.
and you go on holiday and you have everything planned until you come back. I can never do that. Like every time I go on holiday, my channel just falls to the, you know, because I try to plan but never work. I don't know. You always want to organize.
That's that people pleaser part of me, I'm like, okay, I can go on vacation, but people are expecting me to post on Sunday. So let me make sure I have something to post on Sunday.
It's a very good example what you gave because yeah, the fear, like sometimes we go past opportunities,
Mhm.
you know, for fear of whatever, of anyway.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
great question.
Okay. Jess, I'm going to kick it to you to ask the next question.
All right, ladies, you ready?
I think so.
Okay, okay. So the next one is um, can you share a moment when fear made you choose safety over what you truly wanted?
Oh,
Oh,
yes. You want me to go first, Kimberly?
yeah.
Okay. So Michael and I got married and we honeymooned in Jamaica.
Hmm.
If you've ever been to Jamaica, water is a way of life. And I almost drowned when I was 5. So I'm very, very, very fearful of the water. So everything that Michael wanted to do, I just could not do. I just was like frozen in fear. And so he talked me into, let's go kayaking. And I'm like, okay. I kid you not. He didn't get more than 100 feet from shore, and I made him turn it back around. I was just so, so so scared. And everything that he wanted to do, I just couldn't do. I just sat on the beach. I watched him. I waved with a drink in my hand because I just could not get over the fear of the water. And I remember there was one guy working there, and he said, "No, I got you." So he grabs this raft, he puts me in a raft, and he's swimming me all around and going diving down and showing, bringing things up from the bottom of the ocean for me to see. He goes, "Because you should enjoy your honeymoon too." And but just think about it. Just think of if I had let myself learn how to swim and get over my fear of the water, how much more enjoyable my honeymoon would have been. Even though this guy tried his hardest to bring the ocean to me, I was just too afraid to go to the ocean. I should have gone to the mountains for my honeymoon. It probably would have worked out better for me.
Sorry. That was actually funny. What's the question again? What was something that we wanted to do but fear stopped us?
Yeah, can you share a moment where when fear made you choose safety over what you truly wanted?
Oh, you got me thinking.
Yeah, it's
It's a really good question.
yeah.
What is
It's
it
a
that
stumper.
Take your
that
time
fear,
because I'm still looking. Sorry,
fear kept
I'm
me?
still looking for my answer. So,
Fear kept me in a safety spot.
Mm.
Oh, I know. Oh. Okay, I got it. All right. So for me, I was dating this person. It was I don't know if to say dating. It was a situationship, you know. It wasn't full on dating. And I knew I wanted better. I knew I deserved better, and I wanted to get out
Mhm.
because I'm awesome. You know, the situation didn't want me to go anywhere, and they always try. They always get me to, like to stay there,
Mhm.
and I would sit down and write down all my goals of how I want my husband to be or my boyfriend in 2023. I'm going to meet my boyfriend and we're going to live together by March 2023 and we're going to have all this thing. And I remember when it was coming on to like December. And back then I used to watch a lot of Hallmark movies. I'm a strong believer in if you want something in your life, surround yourself with it and it will naturally come instead of trying to fight it, instead of trying to think positive thoughts or trying to
Mhm.
think your way into the situation, put it in front of you. So for me, it was, I want love, I gotta watch the Hallmark movies. So I watched them with my big bowl of popcorn every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Every weekend it was my Hallmark movies. And I was still thing. And then I I said to myself, like I can't allow this person to keep on putting fear in me for going out there dating again. I know what I want and I want to move forward in my life. I really want to experience real, true love. I really want somebody to, love me and treat me like a queen. And that's all I wanted, really. I just want love. I can't even say that fear really stopped me at this point because it stopped me for 4 years. I did not
Mhm.
like I always let that person stop me. And then 26th of December, 2023, I was crying because I was lonely and I was in my apartment and I was tired of this. And then I started to cry and then because I was in that like emotion, listen, any emotion you can use for whatever you want. I don't care how sad you are, how mad you are, utilize that emotion. That works. I know because I did it. And I'm like, I had a boyfriend in 2023 and we lived together. He loves me so much. January 8th, 2023, I met Lauren. History.
Beautiful story.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
why I say like fear, because like I will always butt upon fear, like with my ex-husband and the same promotion thing. Um, I still ended up getting that promotion. It come back around again, and I took it. Like the second time around, I took it. So
Mhm.
because I have that voice in my head, don't let things stop you. Like when I was telling you all about my friend and going to Australia, don't let things stop you, because you don't ever want to be like, what if I woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Mhm.
No, you
Mhm.
got one life, one chance, make the best of it.
And it's like you said, you were fearful
Yeah,
and then you shook it off.
yeah.
Yeah.
I even had a situation, because I used to be scared of the water too, Vicky. I could not swim, and then I got this job that required me to swim. And if I wanted a good job with I needed to learn how to swim, so I went and took swimming lessons.
Mhm.
And then because we used to go on the boats a lot, that I would have like a stronger swimmer with me. And I remember, like, we were one day, I was like, "Ah, I really want to try jumping off this boat, because I really want to get over that fear of jumping from high into the water." And the kids were, "Go, Kimberly, go."
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
you can't disappoint the kids. So I was jumping in the water, you couldn't stop me. I was, the guy that on the boat was like, "We're ready to leave." Kimberly's jumping in the water. We're ready to jumping in the water. Okay, Tyler, stop now.
Yeah, I did learn how to swim 10 years later.
Good. We all had
Good.
a story about
Yeah.
water. It's the same. I had fear of, swimming. Gabon is like a coastal city, Libreville, where I was
Mhm.
born. But then when I was 6, like, because of the African belief of the mermaid in the water, something caught me in the water, my feet. I'm sure it was something like wood, something.
Yeah.
So the African family, it was a mermaid that tried to kill me under the water.
Oh,
And
no.
that story, then I never went it in the water until I moved to France. And at school, at secondary school, they force you, not they force you, but they encourage you. And then I
Mm-hmm.
learned to swim, as a young adult. Yeah. But the story I want to share with you, and Black people and water, that we
Oh
all
my God.
have a story around water. I don't know what
I
I,
tell
what,
you.
but the story I want to share is Kim. Thank you for taking the time to tell the story, because something came that was not there. So thank you. This summer when I went to do my African tour, right?
Mhm.
I was set into going to Tanzania, Kenya, Kampala, so Uganda, and then Rwanda, Kigali. This was like, even today, it's like my dream, not my dream at that time. Every trip that I take is my dream one.
Mhm.
So that was the dream of that summer, right? But when I arrived in Kenya, first in Tanzania, as I explained to you, there was like a political issue. We got locked in and blah blah, so
Mhm.
many issue. I arrived to Kenya. We got kicked out of the accommodation, because the owner did not pay the rent, so we got kicked out of there, and we found our stuff outside at night. They locked the doors. People lost their things. And then my next trip was to go to Kampala. That morning, I look at the new, like sometimes you open your phone and
Yeah.
the news sometimes pop on your phone.
Oh God.
Mhm.
And the first thing that pop is Kampala explosion. You know how Google track you? Because I've
Yeah.
certainly been looking at, because I was planning to travel this morning. And
Mhm.
I'm like, they got an explosion, a car exploding in Kampala. I'm like, but that morning I'm supposed to take the bus to go to Kampala. And because I so wanted to go to Kigali, Rwanda. And to go to Kigali, you have to go to Kampala. There's no other way. Well, because I felt for my safety and fear of too many bad signs happen along the way. And then another one, I'm like, okay, let me go to Cameroon. That's an easy place. It's some place where I know, it's one of my homes. And then
Yeah.
I changed my trip. To this day, I don't know if I regret it, because I think I have a family, and for my own safety, there's things that you have to, you know, but there's still something that's like, I so wanted to go to Kampala and Kigali, but
Mhm.
I chose safety and fear over what I truly wanted was to do that trip, which I didn't do, but it's for next time.
Well, we're really glad you chose safety too.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can imagine Jazz sending us a message saying, yeah, I'm here in Kampala, and there was an explosion. What?
Mhm.
I know. And
Listen, you don't want to do that to us. Like, I
yeah,
said that is us. Imagine your family.
I
Oh
know.
my
And I
God.
put them through a lot already with Tanzania. They
You
couldn't reach
understand?
me for
Yep.
days, because they locked internet because there was so many protests and issue in the country.
Mhm.
And then there was too many things. I'm like, okay, I can't do that. But
Yeah.
I guess that's a right way of choosing safety and
Yes.
Yeah.
fear, right? So,
I
yeah.
never really call that really like, don't put it as it's because you were so scared that you didn't go. I mean, really and truly, that was the reality of what was going on. Who
Yeah.
the hell gonna go to some place that,
Crazy
no.
people like me, because that's what I truly wanted. That was my trip. Like when I plan something and I so wanted to go to Rwanda is a country I want to see in Africa.
It's okay to pivot. It's okay to
It's
pivot.
okay. It's okay to pivot. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Kim, I'll let you ask the third one.
Okay, the third question. What is one choice you made that was driven by freedom, even though fear was still there? I love that.
Jazz is thinking, so I'll go.
Yeah. Thank you.
Retiring at 55. I got laid off at 55 and I thought I had to keep working because of my age. Michael's like, nope, need you here at home. And it took a lot of convincing on his part and the financial planner's part to get me to drop my fear of the what if and just let myself stay away from corporate America. And it's like what I preach on my channel about if you don't plan, it's not going to be there for you when you know you need it. So you got to plan for the what if. And I was letting the what if scare me into staying in corporate America. And I was like this close to accepting a job from a friend at another company, but they both were in my ears and telling me, you're worrying about the wrong what if.
Yeah.
you're worrying about the what if I run out of money, but what if you die before you retire? What if you get sick before you can retire? What
Yeah.
if you
Mhm.
don't have the quality of life that you need before you can retire again? And so the fear was still there. We are now going up on it'll be 3 years this August that I retired early, and I think I'm finally over the fear.
Good.
I understand that fear also, Vicky, because the fear of money is such a big thing driving our lives.
Mhm.
With this capitalism, is that what you say, capitalist
Yes.
society?
Mhm.
And I know how it's hard for you in the US, medical, I mean, let's not, yeah, right? So I understand that it can be difficult. It's a hard decision to take.
Yeah.
Decide to retire early, because I want to retire in 3 years. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. It's less than 3 years. I say I'm retiring at 55. When did you retire, Vicky?
55.
Oh my goodness! I guess
I
that's a trend. Okay.
I turned 55 that June, and in July I was laid off.
Oh, you born in June as
Wow.
well.
Uh-huh.
What?
My
Am I surrounded by June people?
Mhm.
yes.
LeBron is in June.
In my house, my mother hated June because she had, 6 kids, 3 girls, 3 boys. All 3 of us girls were born in June.
Oh
My
my
dad
God.
was born in June.
Oh my
My sister
goodness.
married a man born in June. I married a man born in June. It's just all these Junes. My mom hated it.
So your husband and you are both born in June.
Yeah.
This is
Wow.
crazy. How far?
We are 12 days apart, and so I for a while we're the same age.
Yeah.
then he gets old again.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk about the first solo trip. Okay. I've talked a lot about that on the channel, that I used to travel with my husband, who was doing everything. We used to travel with his company, everything planned for. You go in the plane, you arrive, everything is set. Then I traveled with my kid, but then none of them wanted to travel. My kids were at school or whatever, and my husband just didn't want to. I so wanted to go. It's each me to stay at one place. And the first trip I took, guys, and I didn't go to like Europe. I decided to go to East Africa. I never been there in that part. I decided to do 5 countries because I don't do anything small. Okay. I was so scared. Honestly, I was so scared. But the freedom to like go as I please, not wait for anybody. Because if I needed to wait for my husband, for my kids, for my friend, for somebody to travel with me, I would never have done it. I would never have been, that channel would not exist because I would have never done that first trip. And the fear, but the freedom was so big. My freedom of being a solo traveler was so big that, I kicked the fear on the curve, and I went. It's not that I was not fearful. I was still fearful, but I went despite it. And I'm so grateful. I arrived, I got lost. I didn't know where I was. I didn't have the right money. Everything went wrong on that trip. But after that, guys, I felt, oh my goodness, I felt so much proud.
Yes.
I'm so proud of myself for doing it. I felt accomplished, even if everything went bankers. The trip went so, wrong in many ways, but it's such a satisfaction. That's when I earned my solo traveler badge that I gave myself. Like I knew I could do it because I went to the other, even if I'm born African, Africa, 54 country, all different.
Right.
And Africa is challenging, and I arrive a place where anyway, I'm still very glad that I took that decision, and despite the fear, I still went. So yeah.
All right. So for
Yeah.
me, this question reminds me of when I finally left my ex. Boy, was I so terrified out of this world. I was so terrified. And I will never forget when I drove away, that because I did tell him that I was moving out. But the thing about it, the opportunity to move didn't present itself until I said, get me someplace away from this man. Every single time something happened in my life, I always have to have that chat with the universe, And when I was driving away, my daughter was in the car, and I looked back and I felt a sense of freedom, like true freedom. And I was so scared because I didn't know how it was going, because I was renting a room at someone. So I didn't know how it was going to, what was going to happen. I mean, after that, even going through renting that room and stuff, I ended up sleeping in my car. I was so scared of having to have that experience. And what stopped me from crying? Guess what? My brain goes, would you rather to be in this car right now by yourself? Or would you rather to be under the same roof as your ex? I said, I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, I started to do some gratitudes, and that's what got me to sleep that night.
Yep.
And being able to get away from that. And I was in that relationship for like nearly 13 years. I said all of my adult life because I was all my 20s. I was in my 30s when I left him. And it was scary, scary, because it's not easy leaving those types of people. I had to literally like stop. I literally had to block a lot of people from my phone. I was not answering calls. I had to had a whole process. I had to go to the police station. I had a constable that had to help me. And he said something to me. He said, my name was Chandler before. He said, Miss Chandler, you took too long to get out of that situation, but I'm glad that you're out. He said, here's my number and call me. Anything happened. Every single time I had an issue with my ex, I called that man. And he was such a blessing for me that he helped me. He said, you have to gain back your respect from this man, and I'm going to help you. And no one knew that I had this stranger. And then he was so good to me. And I feel like like sometimes you step out in fear, it's like God like puts every single person in place to be able to help you at that specific time. And that was the most scariest thing I've ever done. That's the honest truth. Most scariest thing I've ever done, getting away from him, because that first night was terrifying. I was even scared to go to work. I was
Wow.
living in fear. I was living in fear every single day, not knowing what was going to happen. I was driving if I have to come home when I was finished work and I coming home at night, I'm driving. You drive, you look forward. I'm looking at my back, my rearview mirror, every 2 seconds to see if anyone's following me. And if I feel like a car is going in too much of a direction as me, you know how many times I drove past my apartment and I went all around the world to come right back? And I laugh at myself when I get home thinking that person was not even following you, you idiot. But
better safe than sorry, though.
Very yeah. And like after many years, years after, and I'm with Laurent now, and I'm working at this place, and this one of my boss, I had a newer boss, and she came in one day and she was really, really sad. And this particular incident I'm going to tell you made me grateful that I stepped past that fear. She came in, she was very sad, and I got her to talking because I'm that person that in the office, like if I see that you are having a down day, not everybody's going to always be thing. Tell me anything, and don't ever think that you could be my bestest friend in the office and you could never know what somebody else told me. Anyhow, so she came in and I went to her office and I asked, what happened or whatever. And she said that her friend that she used to work for back in her country got killed this morning by her ex. He walked in the house and he killed her and the mother and left the baby. And that made me feel so good in that moment that, you hear that voice in your head, you were so right to exclude everybody so that he does not know where you are. And that was one of the things that the constable told me, don't ever let him know where you are. Because those people, they follow you and they make your life a living hell. And I was not risking it. So, yeah.
Wow.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, and
it goes so deep. But when you talk about fear, you bring up so many stories in my head, like so many different things I've been through, Yeah.
I think sorry.
No, go ahead, Jase.
I think it's important that you share those, because when I hear you talk about those so scary experiences that you had with your ex, right? And when I see the Kim that is strong, that is fearless, that is, I can see how much growth, how much work you've done on yourself to be the person that you are today, right? And that's why you search your channel. That's why I say your channel brings so much to everybody. Goes through different, of stuff in life, right? And there's always an answer in one of your videos. That's why I say often I go to your channel and there's an answer. One video that you will do will talk about a part of me, because we all go through some, maybe not something that as strong as you did, but well done you, because wow, you've gone far. I'm amazed by the young woman that you are today. So
no, thank you. Yeah. I always tell people, the Kimberly you see here,
yeah,
you didn't know the one behind there. She would have never sit here and have a conversation with y'all. She was very quiet. She was very inward. Every single thing that I processed was inward. I never opened my mouth and say I never speak up for myself, you know. So now I'm like, I gotta get people to speak up. I gotta get people to feel motivated. I don't, you know, people will come and say, you know, like, but why would you, like, you know, like, you sharing all this information or whatever, is it all your, but I'm a strong believer too that we all go through things to help somebody else. We always feel like, oh, why me? And I went through a lot of why me phases. Trust me, I went through a lot of why me phases. But I now I'm going 40.
Welcome.
Nobody wants to hear that.
I feel like, you know, like, I'm really only now grateful that I had those experiences, that I did all the work I needed to do to get me here today, because it was truly worth it. And I know that me now can help me back then, you know. So that's the reason for my channel. That's why I say, like, for YouTube and their algorithm and saying that you're supposed to make this or that, I'm making me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of that.
Yeah. What I wanted to add is, you know, as people sit here and listen to us, you know, we've shared some deep fears, we've shared some shallow fears, and some fears in the middle. And it doesn't really matter what kind of fear it is. Don't ever think that, oh, well, it's a small fear, so I'm just going to keep it to myself. Heck, if it's a fear of spiders, it's a fear. And it's something that can hold you back and traumatize you. So whether it's big or small, you know, naming it, facing it, it'll help you in the long run.
Oh, I love that, Vicky.
That's
Yeah,
true.
definitely. So let me share my small fear. Because I was like, when Kim was sharing, it's like, mine is so shallow.
No. What Vicky says is true. A fear is a fear. Don't matter what it is a fear. And trust me, I got little small fears too.
Okay, I've started a business recently, right? But I'm somebody that hate talking on the phone. Like, I don't like talking on the phone. I don't like it, you know. But that job demand for me to call people and talk to people, right? And you know, if it wasn't in the way, what is one bold thing I will do differently this week is to take my list of, you know, my prospect and call people. Okay, call. Usually I'm like, okay, I need to call 10 people today, and I end up calling one or two or three, and I'm like, my business is not moving as fast as it should, but I'm not doing the work because the fear of talking on the phone. I rather text, I rather send an audio, but I don't like talking on the phone. Like my family, like my brother-in-law and my brothers in Gabon, they like to call you, you know, or sometimes they call you with the camera. I'm like, I don't like this. Can you just send a message? Or like just send me an audio, right? I feel that taking that job, it's like pushing some of my own limits. Right. Because like what a silly fear. Like, you know, not
It's
wanting to
not.
talk on the phone. I don't like it.
It's not a silly
It's not
fear,
silly fear.
and that's the reason why I wanted to
Go
have
ahead.
this, because, you know, I started on my channel What If Wednesdays, you know, and I ask a reflection question: what if blah blah blah. And I wanted to put this out there, and I'm glad that you brought that up, because it just goes to show that even if we think it is something small, it still is a fear that is crippling to us, so therefore it is still important.
Yeah.
Jazz,
Mhm.
as all those big things that you all consider big things that I went through with fear. I don't like calling people. I hate cold calling. I'll never do it. And I suck at it. That's why I don't own a personal business, because like I suck at cold calling. I have a friend, and I'm telling you this story now to help you. I
Yeah.
have a friend that I met because, you know, I have a bookkeeping channel, and she met me through there. We did the same course or whatever, and we ended up talking one night back in 2021 or something like that. Anyhow, and she was very, very timid. Now she's in a business now about I think it's health. She sells health insurance. So she's with a company, they do sell health insurance and stuff. And she came out of corporate America too. She has like 2 degrees or whatever, but she's like, I'm not going back. Anyhow, and the bookkeeping didn't work out for her. So she said, well, I found a business, I'm going to try it. And she's like, but I'm saying I'm going to try this, but I don't even like to talk to people. Like, I barely talk to you, you know. And now she actually goes out to the mall and she prospects. And she says the more and more and more that she does it, the more comfortable that she gets. So, don't be hard on yourself, because that's something I would never do. I'm terrified of it. I will talk about experiences. I will motivate the hell out of you. I can, help you in that area. But to go out there and talk to strangers and tell them, come join this or that is not me.
Yeah. And so I want to make that invitation out to anyone watching, who else can see themselves in Jase's fear of cold calling and talking to people or any other thing. So, reflect on this, answer it to yourself. If you feel so inclined, put your responses in the comments. We will actually be reading them. We actually read and respond. But again, I totally see myself in that. You see me, I'm very, very talkative, but like you, I ain't cold calling anybody.
But in saying all that too, because travel, this is something though that is like, we could say that because that's not in our area. That's it's not something that we might want to do, but still it's not something in our area. What you're doing is in your area. You love travel.
Exactly.
You could travel every day of the year. You could talk about travel forever.
Yeah.
That is you. So now you're put in a position to have to put yourself where you got to step past that fear and do your cold calling. Just tell us how it goes.
Exactly.
We're cheering you on, but we ain't doing it.
You know how I changed it? Because I joined because of the benefit that I get as a traveler.
Yeah.
As traveling for free, having a cruise, for God's sake, I never managed to have one. Too expensive for me. I would do my first one this year. So the way I've changed it is I'm now looking for group travels, because to join the private club, you can travel together, because you can share. You often, when you do the cruise, you have the solo tax. When you travel solo, you pay a lot more than if you travel with two. So that's my new way of approaching it. And I'm looking for travelers who have the same background as me, who want to travel and look for traveling buddy. And there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I want to travel with someone and want to pay less. So that's how I frame it, to make it easier for me to talk on the phone. We have lots of things on the phone, but we're getting there.
But you love travel, so you'll get it done.
Thank you.
For sure. You will get it done. Because and the thing about it, I could see you organizing your own things in the future. I could see you, and you're gonna enjoy it. Look, we're talking about it. She's visualizing. Look at her face, is like lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think we beat this one up to death. I think we all said cold calling. Okay, so of course it wouldn't be me if I didn't want to play a game. So we're going to play a game. Rapid fire round, fear versus freedom. You got like 30 seconds to answer. I got 5 prompts.
Okay.
And for those of you watching, please play along. Again, you can play internally, or you can put your responses down in the comments. One fear I faced this year.
Oh, so we got answer one fear that we face this year?
Okay, well, you guys think I'll go first. I did a live stream.
Good.
I
went to, still with the travel company, I went to like a convention with 500 people. I don't like being with a lot of people around me. That's so much. But actually had a great time. I faced it this year. So yeah, it's pushing me out of my comfort zone.
One fear I would say, the fear that I had last year and that I have to face this year is being separated from Laurent with that whole visa process.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
a big fear, but I don't think it's more fear now. It's like, because we know our position now. So yeah, but that was a massive fear.
One thing I did anyway, even though I was afraid.
Being on YouTube and showing my face and sharing it publicly for everyone to see.
Oh, that is definitely mine because it was hard for me to give up my cartoon girl.
Yeah.
She was my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Mine was being myself on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
That I had that as a fear, like being my, just showing up as me and don't be bothered about, all the other stuff.
Okay, number 3. One freedom choice I'm proud of. And if it's not different from what you've already said, it's okay. You can say it again.
One freedom choice that I'm proud of is making the choice of dating Laurent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was a
That's a good
freedom
one.
choice.
Cool.
I had a friend that was telling me that he was a red flag. Or red flag that.
For him, certainly that friend. It was a
Mm,
red flag for that friend. They were
of
talking
course.
about themselves. For me, it will be designing my life around how I want to live. Like really designing my life around my travels, right? Everything fits around that. And that's something that I'm very proud of because I used to live until I was 45 for the life I was expected to by society, by everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely, planning for when I get older because I feel this sense of freedom and relief after watching, what happened with my in-laws and, seeing, how they lived because they wouldn't face that they were getting older. And then by the time they needed all these things, dementia had set in, so they couldn't do it. And so me, I just feel like, yay, I got this. I'm good, but I still have one more bathroom I got to remodel. I got to get rid of one more tub. I need because my back bathroom is a small walk-in shower. I'm gonna need a bigger one, as we get older and
Yeah.
mobility devices, and so that's the one thing I am very, very, very proud of.
Okay.
Number 4, one fear I'm ready to challenge next.
Consistently going live. I think I battle with going live. Like I literally battle with I went live once and I was like, I'll go live next week. And next week I'm like, I don't feel like doing it. But I know that's not me being lazy. That's fear. That I know
Okay.
myself. Yeah.
Okay. I would say with traveling, one fear I'm ready to challenge next is the fear of wanting even more. When you guys say you were in Africa and then you were in France, what's happening, right? And I want to have a year of travel, a sabbatical. That's something that I don't know. It's deeper in me, ingrained.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take a year to figure out where I'm going next, like in my life in general.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like wanting more that I'm already gone a lot. And now I want a year again. That's a fear I'm ready to challenge next because I think it's something that I need to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, it's still channel related, and that's being more of me on my channel. Like I said, because we're living it, I tend to walk on eggshells about some of the things I will and will not share.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to be able to really share the hard and the good stuff that are more personal because I think it will help people see themselves and know that they're not alone. So that's one of the fears that hopefully I can pull that Band-Aid this year.
But can
Yeah.
I add to that? One of my fears is, as much as I show up as me, I want to show up as, sometimes no lipstick, my hair might not be done, like that.
Join me, join
You,
me.
you keep yourself from, you can't, you recorded one morning, you said that you woke up in the morning and then
I do. I do have one. I do have one.
one.
One that has not been scheduled yet.
If Kimberly shows up looking like me, one day I'll actually wear makeup.
Deal?
Yeah. If I'm talking about the channel, I will add that no edit challenge is something that I'm
I
gonna do
want to do
this
that.
year.
Yeah, I want to do that again.
You want?
I want to do it. I want
Yeah, me
to.
too. This year, I want to do another 1 month of no edit challenge because I
Me
think that
too.
was so liberating.
It was so good. It
Yeah,
was so good.
Okay, and then number 5. One word that sums up my relationship with fear.
and learning.
One word that sums up my relationship with fear. I don't have a word.
That's okay.
I don't got a word. What's yours, Vicki?
My relationship is still.
Still,
I
okay,
still have fears. I still have
okay, okay. Mine is a learning because I'm learning to understand that fear is just our brain trying to protect us from nothing.
Mhm,
You
I would
know,
say mine would
fear,
be curious.
curious.
Curious because when I'm fearful of something, I
Hmm.
like to see when I'm not fearful of it.
mhm.
The first time I saw that I could really, really step past fear was the first time I ever killed a lizard because it was going towards my daughter. And let me tell you, I was like, die. And it was like one of those lizards that looked like a snake. Oh my God. I killed it. Dead, dead, dead. I'm sorry for all the people that love animals and love insects or whatever. But you don't want to die. You don't come in my house. And we are good friends. And don't you dare crawl towards my 3-month-old baby. No, you will not live.
Ah. So, ladies, before we wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to share?
um, it's a quote that I've checked earlier. It was like, I don't know who said that. It's like, fear will always have an opinion. The question is, does he get a vote?
Well, I
I
love
thought
that.
I thought that was cute.
My favorite quote, since you're doing quotes, is feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah, I
I
like that
live
one.
by that. Feel the
Yep.
fear
Yeah.
and do it anyway. Because I feel like if like whenever I do something out of terrified of doing it or whatever, I feel like that's when you really connect with sources. Like if you allow, that higher power to like show you like, I got you. And it's like this big muscle, strong energy, whatever you want to call it, but it's just like really, really got you. And you see it show up in some amazing spaces for you.
Mm-hmm.
um and now that I'm saying that, I'm like, I'm really going to just start recording videos like face on or face off. It's going to be on this year. I need to make a thing for myself now that I've deleted YouTube Studio to yay me. Finally deleted that addicted thing. Now that I've deleted YouTube Studio, I am literally just being all out me. And I feel like if I really step into that, I can really find a
Mm-hmm.
tribe that's for me, that I want. Like how Jase is like, I'm doing my travels. See the traveling? I too bad.
Well, I want to thank you, ladies, for being so open and honest and real in this discussion because, I think this was again, I have to just thank Jazz for, thinking of this and giving us this forum. And even though we had to pivot from doing this live and doing this as a recorded session, I think it's still a great way for us to get the message out there. So thank you so much. And for those of you watching, just remember, fear is natural and it is completely okay. But what matters is that we notice it and we understand it and we still make intentional choices to live instead of, giving up our life and letting fear take over. As I always say, fear, you can be so paralyzed by fear that you give up your entire life to it. And at the end of the day, the only person that suffers is you.
Wow. I know, right? What can we
Listen,
add
we
to
need to
that?
have some bombs just showing up sometimes in these
I
chats.
know, mic drop,
It's
you know.
like crazy.
I
Wow.
think I would add that to the
That's
editing, the
it.
mic drop.
I know, right?
So if any of this resonated with you, feel free to give us a thumbs up, share with your friends who may need to hear this message, because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of us out there who are afraid of fear and need to hear from other people. And if you like everything here, please check out the channels. Links to all of our channels will be in the description below and in the pinned comments. And we have so many insights on our channels to help you live boldly, age wisely, and manifest intentionally. So thank you so much for watching, for being brave, and for choosing freedom with us. And remember, fear isn't the problem. Unexamined fear is. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next episode.
See you soon. It was so
Bye.
nice to be with you, ladies.
Thank you so much, ladies.
It was nice being here.